Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale Trust, Bitcoin, and some interesting crypto news, as well as some dividend distribution. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so the S&P you guys can see here is about ready to pop above all-time highs. That's kind of to be expected. That is the Trump effect, so to speak. As you guys know, Trump is a businessman. He is worth a lot, and he understands the markets. And the last time he was in office, the markets did exceptionally well. So I am not really surprised here by this. The Nasdaq also pushing out of that descending channel you guys can see here, which the target is the all-time highs. The target for the triangle pattern or ascending triangle, basically in this case, would be about 24,500. So we have quite a bit of ways of upside to go to hit that target. So everything is looking good as of right now on the charts. We are about ready to snap all-time highs. You guys usually know that when all-time highs get hit, they usually just 9 out of 10 times the price usually just keeps going higher, especially off of some kind of major pullbacks. So BTC dominance, I am expecting this to fall to begin falling during this quarter and to get a massive alt season. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen because it's pretty much in line with history. The miners had a decent day today. Again, not great. We do have some, according to TradingView, we have some earnings coming up for some of these stocks. So I know CLSK and I believe Coinbase and MSTR are two of the or three of them. Sorry, we'll just double check real quick. Yeah, so Coinbase in February, MicroStrategy in February, and looks like CLSK in February as well. There may also be some other miners in there. I'm not sure. We'll cover that in a separate video. But again, these dates can change. It's possible. It may not even be properly reflected on this particular platform. So do keep that in mind as well. So there's another thing I wanted to show you guys also. And again, we haven't talked about this in a few days, but what did I tell you guys before that likely the bottom was in back here? Well, guess what? We've had a massive move up since. Again, these reads are pretty rare. If it doesn't get down in the green box, like in the case of the NASDAQ here, it's actually quite hard to read, but I mean, a 20 is still pretty low. So you can pretty much estimate based on previous data looking at this and say, okay, roughly about a 17 to a 20 somewhere in there is usually right about where this thing has bottomed before. So you can kind of, extrapolate what to expect from that going forward. And lo and behold, it was actually a bottom. So it did go higher. Now, I'm aware that the miners have not gone up yet, but I think they're going to go up very soon. And I mean very soon, probably, I'm thinking likely within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case. So let's talk about why. So Trump came out, I believe it was today, and I actually did watch this myself. And basically, he came out and did a bunch, I think it was one or multiple executive orders on crypto, including the national Bitcoin stockpile. Again,
And they
don't quote
probably
me
have
on
their
that.
choice with that.
I've had a busy day. My mind's been kind of
In
all
your
over the
opinion,
place. So,
what would be the ideal
but
way
that's the
to
thing
regulate
that
crypto? Well, I think there's two
people
different things.
were waiting
The SEC's
for
got to
in
get clear
the
rules
crypto
in
markets
place.
was
Obviously,
for him to
Bitcoin is
talk
through the
about that.
regulatory
So
threshold. I think it's very well
you'd see
accepted.
here
It's
it
not a
says he
security,
pledged
and
a
investors are going to
crypto
continue
conference. He
to
attended
buy
last summer
that
to
asset
make
and
the
hold that
US the
asset.
crypto
But there's
capital
a
of the
whole
planet and
other
the Bitcoin
plethora of
superpower of the
assets
world.
that
So the
exist in the
markets are
market,
sitting
and
back,
people
kind of
want to
thinking
know,
like,
are these
okay,
securities, are they not? How
when's
should
it
they be
actually going to
treated?
happen?
The
We're
second thing
waiting,
is not
right?
only regulation, which this crypto task force is focused on, but also what can
And
Donald Trump
states
do to
also
further push
apparently
this
are
forward?
also working
More
in the
than
background to
50% of
try
his
to
net worth is
implement the
now in the
exact
crypto
same
market.
thing
And
at
so
the state
obviously
level.
he's paying attention to this.
So it's
But
all
I think
looking
there's
pretty
three
good.
things.
You
They can
guys can look
repeal
into these
SAB
crypto
121,
executive
which would allow
orders in your
banks to
own
hold these
time to get the
assets and make it
finite
more safe for
details. I don't
people.
want to cover
The
too
second
deep
thing
here.
is that
I
we can
do just
establish a
want to
Bitcoin
let you guys
strategic
know that
reserve.
this is
And
happening. And obviously that's very bullish for the markets, right? Okay, so next thing here is the yield max ETFs. Again, didn't have time to cover this yesterday, so we'll get into it today. LFGY, some of these I'm not going to be familiar with. So roughly about 75 cents, YMAG 17 2 cents, YMAX 17 cents, YMAG 10 cents, Tesla roughly about 72 cents, Crash, which is the inverse Tesla, 28.5 cents, GUI 33 cents, YBIT 79 cents. ORC 33 cents, Zomo 35 cents, SNOY 74 cents, TSMY 64.5 cents, Feet and Fivi or Fivey, not sure how you say that. So $2.19 and $1.67. Again, I haven't kept up with the yield max ETFs lately, so I have no idea what Feet, Fivey, and LFGY are. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments below. We're currently focused on crypto. When we eventually get back into passive income assets, we'll get more into the details of these things. Okay, so FEPI and AIPI are going to be next week, so they're not going to be on here. We'll keep that for next week. For now, QDTE, 24.5 cents. That's pretty good. Volatility does appear to be picking back up in the market, so I suspect next week's payouts for these ETFs that are weekly ones are going to be pretty good. And obviously the monthly pair should still be pretty good too, right? Okay, so next one here, XDTE. There's no need to sign up because we already have some of these. So a little bit over 21 cents per share. And again, keep in mind, these are weekly ones. So you're talking like 80 cents to over $1 a month per share. Let's see, next one here, RDTE. Still expecting the small caps to outperform this year as well as crypto. Like I've told you guys before, I think that's likely going to happen. So 20 cents per share. Basically what I mean by this is I think that because the Russell 2000 is going to get so volatile and likely scream to all-time highs long before the end of this year, the payouts on these Russell 2000 ETFs are probably going to be pretty good. There is one other thing that I noticed when Trump was being questioned by reporters or the news outlets or whatever on these crypto executive orders. He was asked about Fed funds rate. Now, this is a big deal, okay? So he said that the funds, and again, this is not verbatim, okay, but the way I understood it is he said that the Fed funds rate was far too high and it needed to come down, and that they would be doing that when the time is right. So exactly how that's going to play out, I don't know, but like I told you guys before, I'm just going to be blunt about it. Okay, me personally, I actually do like Jerome Powell. I would like to see him stay as Fed chairman, but if there's no reason not to lower rates and the Fed's not lowering rates, then they should get rid of the guy and get somebody else who will do it. That's just my opinion. Okay, but like I told you guys before, I think likely the Fed is going to get pressured to lower rates, and they're going to have to do it whether they like it or not. That's kind of what I think is going to happen, and that's good. That's exactly what we want. That means crypto is going to go to the moon. Stocks are going to go to the moon. More companies can hire employees for their businesses. You can get economic expansion of global GDP. Consumerism will become cheaper. The cost of living will become cheaper. Real estate is kind of its own separate beast, so it's hard to say how that's going to be influenced. I know that the mortgage rates will become lower as a result of the Fed funds rate coming down. Borrowing costs become cheaper. Goods and services should become more affordable. It should be a much cheaper way of life. So it's actually a good thing that this is happening. So anyways, LTCN, buy zone still between 12 to 18. Target still going between 27 to 54 on this one. We have a nice long wick right off the bottom of this kind of channel looking thing. So that's very bullish, 370% gain. BCHG, we still have the inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is not a textbook inverse head and shoulders, but it could play out this way with a target of roughly about, it's like about $14.50. And you have a wick, again, like LTCN coming off of the bottom of this channel. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I would say pretty much the current price is a good entry. You could always say, well, if it goes lower, maybe I want to wait till 360 to 430. That's entirely up to you. Targets going from 1250 to 24. It would be understandable if you guys didn't actually want to buy at this line, because if it does crack it, then it's going to head down to that green box. The question is, will it or will it not? I think it kind of depends on the performance of the crypto market. 450% gain. And something you guys got to keep in mind, when the Fed funds rate is at all-time highs, the dollar usually is pretty strong and the yields are high. So in order for crypto to truly start moonshotting, the Fed funds rate has to come down, which the dollar and the yields from bonds will naturally come down with it because they're all correlated. Okay. So that has to happen. I mean, if things are really going to start popping off, the Fed funds rate has to come down, period. Like, we have to see continual cuts. And I'm not talking little baby cuts where they're like, oh, well, we're going to cut 25 basis points every other meeting, guys. I know it's going to take 3 months, but, it's what we got to do because we're just not sure. I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, the Fed needs to be sure because it's kind of their job and they're responsible for the entire economy and trillions of dollars of worth of the United States. So they need to keep along the path that they've been on, which is to keep cutting rates at, I would say, probably 50 basis points per meeting. Because if not, they're going to lose credibility and run the risk of getting fired, not just by the president of the United States and Congress, but by the people too. And I do know one thing about conservative types. They do not play around. They're not into BS. So they need to get on the ball and get their stuff done. So anyways, HZEN, I would say probably, well, we're tapping into the support zone. So maybe anywhere between 340 to 510 here for buy areas, targets going from 830 to 1240. About a 270% gain. For those of you guys that are wondering what my political stance actually is, and again, I know we don't usually talk about politics here, but they are intertwined with finance. Unfortunately, some people don't like that, but it's actually an added benefit if you're in finance and you understand politics, because then you get to understand both sides of the coin, okay? But I consider myself to be a mostly independent, okay? I usually align with what I believe is right. What I believe is right could change depending on the times. I don't want to be specific about that. We'll talk about that in a separate video. So ETCG, 13 and a quarter to 1550 on this one for the buy area, 1850 to 20 for the targets up here. It's pretty much sitting on that white line. So, I mean, it looks like it's going to hold about 56% gain here. ETH, so we have a mini cup and handle within a cup and handle, and it's also a sideways kind of consolidation, a lot really going on here. So if it is a descending channel, then the target is the top of the channel with 35. If it's a bull flag, in this case, the measurement would be about 43. If the mini cup and handle plays out, you have 73-ish, and then the big cup and handle would be about 53. So kind of pick your poison on this one. The buy area right now, 23 and a quarter to about 28.60. You can pick your levels. Obviously, if you have TradingView, you can look at this stuff for yourself. So 210% gain here, in best case scenario. GBAT, I would say probably maybe 510 if you're willing to wait for that level. Maybe anywhere between 510 to $7 on this one. Targets going up to 10 to about 32. Because this is kind of a funky chart, I'd probably just be shooting for the all-time highs if it was me, but you guys may have different ideas. So 525% gain on this one, FILG. So we are retesting in the support. So anywhere from 32 to 44 here for the buy area. Target would be the all-time highs at 400. Again, when you get that move, assuming you nailed it perfectly at the bottom here, I mean, you'd be looking at more than a 10x. So about 1100% gain on this one. GLIV inverse head and shoulders. Again, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. The target is 31. The neckline here is at 19.5. We got to break it with a candle confirmation above it and preferably a continuation candle. This did not get a continuation candle, but if we get a breakout and a continuation candle, once we get above 32 and 52, I would say we're probably likely heading to 80 pretty fast. Again, you got to understand, the more that price is compressed, the more explosive the move is going to be in one direction or another. Okay. In this case, the price has been being held down for a long time. Okay. So the longer it gets held down, the more explosive the move to the upside. You can see an example of this here. Okay. It got held down, kind of just bobbing around in this accumulation. And then the move was absolutely stupid. It went from $2 to $80. I mean, you would have made a 40x on your money. So you can kind of do what you want to with that one. So anywhere in that green box, which pretty much is where the current price is, good buy area, in my opinion. A lot of price action there, so 508% gain here. G-Link, so we're currently testing the red EMA. We'll have to see if that holds. The buy area for now, I would say, is the 65 to 85 in the green zone. Targets at 220 up here. Of course, There is lower levels. I'll read those off for you guys. 245% gains. The next level, 39 to 45, and below that, 20 to about 21. I don't think those levels are going to get hit before the end of this bull run, though. I just don't think so. Okay, so GSOL buy area 16 to 22, 24, somewhere in there. I do still think 20 is going to hold. You can see it's slowly starting to try to melt up here. Targets going anywhere from, I say, about 80 to 115 on this one, for about 670% gain on this GXLM. So we did get another pullback here. Again, we're kind of just in between this white line and this box up here. So 36 to 53. The 36 to this blue EMA is what I'd be looking at for buy area. So 36 to 45 here. Again, kind of the idea here is that if it is going to consolidate, you want to, well, I can't tell you guys what to do, obviously not financial advice, but you want to try to, if you're looking for the most bang on your buck, you want to get in at the precise level that you're looking for and probably not a dollar above that. So that way the upside is the maximum possible gains that you can possibly get, right? So in this case, targets would be anywhere from 69 going up to the all-time highs at 97. You guys can see the percentage gains there. If you manage to pick up the shares at a higher price, then your upside becomes less. I'm sure you guys know that, but I just want to point that out. So 10 to 20 here for the buy area. 70 is going to be the target. So 3.5 to 7x potentially here, maybe even more than that. 560% gain. Zcash, so I would say probably anywhere from 430 to 630 on this one, with targets going from 960 to about 10.5 for about 135% gain. All right, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.